Anyways, we're here at the next level, which is Lockjaws Locker, the first swimming stage in the game. And these swimming stages, I think, are a lot more interesting. For one thing, they all have some kind of platforming in it. So it's not like, you know, Coral Capers or wherever, where it's just you swimming around the whole time. And there are lots of hidden goodies. You got the rising water level that helps you reveal little secrets like this. Much like the first game, there is an on guard hidden in every level. Yeah, see, we got a whole bunch of banana coins, and I'm gonna actually try to buy all the hints, just for, you know, why the hell not? And yeah, you're gonna need plenty of coins. But as you know, one thing that you will not need coins for, and you know, Wrinkly just told us this, is that in the original game, this is one of the big criticisms people have, which I honestly think is really overblown, is that in order to save your game in the Super Nintendo version, you had to go to Wrinkly's place, and first time you saved in a world, it was free, but every time after that, you have to pay her 2 coins. Now, finding 2 coins in the stages is really, really easy. Like, if you're... Like, I seriously question, like, you have to be going out of your way to avoid coins to not have enough to pay to save. Like, I understand why people don't like it. It's, you know, I would be lying if I said that I think it's, like, a brilliant choice or anything, but... Because the save system in the original is basically the same as Donkey Kong Country 1. It's the same thing where, like, you can only save when the game feels like it, and I do feel like for the most part, the game avoids the Gorilla Glacier conundrum where you have to basically beat the entire world before you can save, or fly to another world to save. So it's not like that. I feel like it's much more reasonably paced, so that you're not going through a bunch of really difficult levels before you can actually save your progress or anything. But still, it's got kind of the same quirk as the original game does. But, you know, good news is, in this game, in this version of the game, there's no such condition. You can save your game whenever you want. You just pause the game and hit save, and that's it. And I think that was a smart choice, personally. Golden Feathers, as far as, you know, being a side quest in this game, feel like they're... It really depends on the stage, but sometimes they're really easy to find, and sometimes they're hidden really well, and it's very inconsistent. For the most part, I feel like you should find all the ones you're looking for just by playing the stage like normal. But, you know, anything can happen. Alright, let's try to be careful. You know, more hidden goodies in the wall over here, like... Seriously, golden coin. I have 22 golden coins and I've only played a few stages. So if you're having trouble finding coins, I don't know what to tell you. Did there need to be a save condition or, you know, a pay to save thing going on? Probably not. But there's so many fucking coins that it almost doesn't matter. And you know, it's all about you prioritizing how you're gonna spend these things. Let's see, I'm gonna grab that real quick. We're gonna come back around and grab our unguard again. Because there's actually a scrapbook photo somewhat cleverly hidden back here. I think probably in the original game that banana coin was all that was good for. Just something I do like about the scrapbook photos and the golden feathers is that there would be places in the original games where, like, all you'd get there is like a couple bananas or something, or maybe a regular coin. In this game, they tend to hide. I feel like a lot of the locations are pretty smart, pretty clever. Make you think outside the box, like that one we just got in the last level, the golden feather. Anyways, we have Swanky Kong here. Good evening, I'm Swanky Kong and you're tonight's contestants on my Bonanza. It's easy to play, use left and right and use the control pad and blah blah blah. You will then be asked a series of questions. Use the control pad to move left and right between the stars and the ground. Once you are on the correct star, press the A button to activate that star. Swanky swag. Alright, so this is a quiz minigame. And so that's why you need to be paying attention to level names and character names and whatnot. What is my name? What is Swanky Kong? What is the first enemy that you see in the game? What is a furry rat? And by the way, I love that option C was an ugly earthworm. I wonder who they're referencing. That also came out in the mid-90s. You clever little monkey. Now listen carefully. What is the name of this area of the island? Alright, what is Gangplank Galleon? Didn't they do well? Alright, so whenever you finish a quiz, you get an extra life. And so in addition to being a fun minigame, I think, what button do you press to run? In the Game Boy Advance version, what is B button? What is the name of the first level in the game? What is Pirate Panic? What is the name of the enemy boss who has kidnapped Donkey Kong? And that would be Captain K. Rool. Nice going, guys. Here's your prize. Alright, Chip Challenge. In the first level of the game, how many windows did the captain's cabin have? 4? There are a couple questions that no matter how many times I play this game, I always kind of have to guess on. What is the name of the first rigging level? That would be, what is Main Brace Mayhem? In the first level of the game, which of these is not a background object in the captain's cabin? Yeah, I had to guess with that one. 3 out of 3, you're pretty good at this. Until next time, see you next week. You know who I think would do a good Swanky Kong? If they were to ever bring him back and suddenly have voice acting in these games, would be Darren Norris. Like, you know, Darren Norris, he was Dallas from Ratchet Deadlocked, as well as, you know, Cosmo from Fairly Odd Parents, and Gordy from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. He has a really good voice for an announcer, MC type person. I think he'd be a good Swanky Kong. I was trying to channel my best Darren Norris there. I don't know how good it was. And yes, I will be doing voices, because I think it's fun. Can't a guy have fun? Alright, so obviously the bonus rooms, each of them kind of has their own little mini game you sort of play. There are a few regular ones. There's Find the Coin, where you just go through a maze or a little platforming section and you get the coin at the end. There's Destroy Them All, where you beat up a bunch of Kremlings. I always remember that minigame by its DKC3 name, Bash the Baddies. And there's also Collect the Stars, where there'll be a bunch of stars lying around in the bonus room, and you just gotta grab them and pick them up. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. And I might be screwed here. If I can't. Hopefully, Radley's still there. Gotta say, no memory restrictions on this sucker. It's pretty impressive actually that they were able to fit this. This is a pretty big game for its time, I gotta say. So the fact that they were able to fit it on Game Boy Advance and have it, like, it plays pretty well, I gotta say. Like, much like what I was saying when I did play through the first game. The Game Boy player does not do these games justice at all. They don't really do any Game Boy game justice. And this game looks and plays great on authentic hardware. Because it's like, you look at, a lot of people will complain about the colors, which is not, unwarranted. But the colors and the graphics look different on the original screen. And it's one of those things that I did make some kind of LCD screen mock-up. Maybe I'll put some footage through that just to kind of give you a better idea of what that's like. But these games look different on the original hardware. Like, the emulators are going to display them in the original RGB. Just in case you didn't know, different screens use different color spaces, which is basically just how the colors, basically the range of colors that the game could display, as well as, in comparison to others. It's, you can look up color space and figure out more about what that is, but, emulators and computers use a color space called RGB. And RGB And by the way, there was a camera up there. RGB, it has a much fuller range of colors. So when you play this game on an emulator, you're getting full RGB color out of it. We'll play this little mini game with Funky real quick. Looking good, dudes. I'm Funky the Main Monkey, and my Funky's flights can take you anywhere in Crocodile Isle. Provided you've already checked it out, of course. Fortunately, I'm overrun with business at the moment, so I'm far too busy to help you guys out. Don't worry though, I'm sure we can come to some arrangement. I know, I'll lend you one of my copters, but only if you can prove you can fly it. Cruise on over and jump in the barrel, man. Go ride the skies. Right, dudes, listen up. This is how you fly. Use the control pad to steer the gyrocopter. Pressing the A button will fire the main gun. Have you got all that? Aerial loop. This is a piece of cake. All you have to do is take off and fly through 20 rings. You can pass through each ring in any direction. Slowly land at the helipad to complete the mission. You have 5 minutes of fuel. Good luck. Alright, so this is the first of the new minigames that are added for this Game Boy Advance version of the game. So in addition to the new side quests, we've also got this going on. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You have the gyrocopter, and you fly it around, and you move it with the D-pad. You can shoot at people. How did I miss that? I went right through it. I went right through that one as well. And you know, the later missions get a lot more complicated. Hold on, was that a NID? Holy shit. They brought back the NIDs from Donkey Kong Country 3 and put them in this level. It's kind of neat. And you know, the little spiders with the platforms on their backs that jump up and down. It's kind of cute. But as you can see, we've already finished the mission, and you know, it's pretty easy. The later ones get a lot more challenging, so. Awesome, guys, you sure got the hang of flying. You are now free to use the copter whenever you need it. Just access your inventory by pressing start and choosing gyrocopter. One more thing, I could use a good pilot. Come back and see me, I'll have plenty of jobs on the go. Here, take this. Many thanks, guys. So yes, you will get DK coins from completing Funky Kong missions as well. So yeah, make sure that you're going after those. In the original game, Funky Kong was just a way to get from place to place, so in this game he's got a little bit more going on. Before we fight the boss, let's go pay Cranky another visit real quick, because we have all of the feathers in this world. And much like the remake of the first game, as you can see, we have a level stats screen, which is so convenient, especially since there's so many collectibles in this game, especially now that we have you know, the scrapbook photos and the golden feathers to look after as well. The game does not care about whether you get all the Kong letters in the stage in this game. There is no scrapbook photo that is tied to that, so you can skip them with ease of mind. So as you can see, we fully completed the world and gotten all the letters, or the feathers rather. So let's go pay Cranky another visit real quick. Shouldn't Dixie just be a token female princess waiting to be rescued instead of a main character? Biggest subject, I know everything about this game. Well done, we now have enough feathers. I think it's time we named the bird. Let's call him Expresso. Each time you find another feather, return to me and use it to power up Expresso. This is done by selecting the Expresso Racing option from my menu and then selecting Power Up. Try doing it now. Power-ups increase Expresso's abilities, allowing him to compete in tougher races. When powering up, you'll be able to increase Expresso's speed, strength, boost, and flight stats. Speed increases Expresso's maximum speed. Strength stops the other racers from pushing you around. Boost allows Expresso to pick up the grain from the track. Pressing the R button will give you a small speed boost. Flight allows Expresso to pick up the feathers from the track. Pressing the A button while jumping will allow Expresso to jump much further. Alright, so we have these 4 stats, and for every feather you have, you're allowed to increase the stat by 1. And I think I'm gonna go for speed and strength first off. So this minigame, Expresso will be competing against 3 other birds. Use the control pad to move them around. Press the B button will make Expresso run. Pressing the A button will make Expresso jump. Try to beat the opponents to the finish line. Okay, so the Expresso Racing minigame is actually pretty fun in my opinion. So we have these 3 other birds rather, that are all palette swaps. And our stats are a little bit weak sauce, but I think we should still be able to beat him. So one thing I should note about Expresso Racing is that it's equal parts skill and stats. So you are not going to beat this unless if you're paying attention to the track layout and actually trying to beat the other racers and grab your power-ups and stuff. But if your stats are shit, you're not winning it. So make sure that you're paying attention to that and grabbing, hitting all the boost pads like I'm not doing because I suck. And the Let's Play curse is out to get me already. I find that it's perfectly possible to beat this. Yeah, we're restarting, which thankfully is an option. I find that it's pretty. You can comfortably beat this first challenge if you're even without fully upgraded. Even if your stats are a little bit low, you could still. Can I move, please? Okay, thank you. As you can see, as Cranky was saying, the birds, if their strength stat is higher than yours, then they can push you around, and then you won't be able to move past them. So they can basically corner you, and that's not really fair. And if another racer gets ahead of you, I find that the AI is pretty competent in general, and will grab power-ups if you miss them, or if they're ahead of you. So you want to try to get ahead of them as soon as you can. Man, I'm really playing like shite, aren't I? All right, I finally made it ahead, but if I screw up at all, then they're gonna race on past me. So, all right, we're on our third lap now. I missed that one boost, so they're probably gonna be back up behind. Oh, come on, I grabbed that grain. Fuck you. Now I'm in dead last. So that's kind of the danger you run into when you try to play this with stats that are too low. Like, as you can see, I still won. It took me a couple tries, so with the right amount of skill, you could still beat these even if your stats are a little low. But it's tougher because if I had a higher strength stat, for example, then the birds wouldn't be able to push me off to the side. So yeah. This is a bit of a lengthy first part, but, why the hell not? It's supposed to be the preview. I give you an idea of what this playthrough will be like. Oh, did it just save? That could be a problem. It could be a problem, as Eric would say. If it auto-saves like that, but I might have to have a backup all the same. Alright, we're back with Crow's Nest. Which is... this character is a giant mini-necky, which is kind of strange, and as you can see, there are banana coins up there, which I recommend grabbing, especially if you, every time you fight the boss, or if you die and try to fight the boss again, the coins will be back, so you can farm some coins pretty easily if you're dying here. So if you're having trouble finding enough money to save your game in the original, there you go. Because, the game doesn't save after you beat the boss, so... Yeah, and in the original game, you had to pay to use Funky as well. So if you decide to go back to an old world to save before moving on to the next world, then you will have to pay both to save at Wrinkly's place and to pay for Funky. You only have to pay for Funky once in a world, so after you paid for him once, you're all set. Well done, you sure showed that, feathered freak. I can't wait to see how you get on in Crocodile Cauldron. Go on then, go! What are you waiting for? Yeah, so Cranky... Yeah, in the original, he only had one sprite. He was on his rocking chair, and he'd rock back and forth and hit you with his cane every once in a while. Well, in this version, they gave him a walking animation, and he's got two canes. With just a bit more post-commentary here, that was the second episode of Exo Plays Donkey Kong Country. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel, EPG Plays, for more content down the road. Remember that there is a full playthrough of the first game also available. And remember, when we get up to 1,000 subs, I will promise to do a Let's Play of Super Metroid Redesign. And that should be fun, no matter which version I end up doing, so... Yeah, so that's all for now. Join me next time for part 3, and I'll see you guys then.